Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only, and for those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law, and through this channel I'd like to bring you some stock analysis as well as a short trading lesson at the end, so please stay tuned. Okay, so a quick recap of the previous day's trading. It was a difficult day with a lot of stocks and shares down quite considerably, including Tesla. There are continuing fears from hedge funds and a sell-off there. There's also a continuing fear of inflation, perception that the EV sector is still a little bit overvalued, and also a lot of money is being diverted into cryptocurrencies. However, once the market stabilizes, I'm confident of a good recovery going forward. Okay, so today's stock analysis is for ticker symbol LKCO, a stock that we have featured a few times on this channel, and today it's just to update you in terms of some breaking news. And first of all, we have something very important from May the 5th, 2021, and we have here an order from the United States District Court of Columbia. So the summary here is that the business has been granted a motion for a preliminary injunction. So that is good news, and let's see how that has had an impact on the stock. Okay, so let's start by looking at a headline article here from PR Newswire, and the headline here is Luokung shares continue to trade in the US on the NASDAQ stock market. So we can see here that it did close well up in excess of 13% at $1.68. In my personal opinion, if the market was not going through such volatility right now and difficult trading conditions, I'm quite confident that this stock would have been up in excess of $2 right now. So going back to this article, we can see that there is confirmation that a preliminary injunction was granted by the court, and as a result, there is more confidence in this stock remaining on the NASDAQ going forward. Okay, so the next article I'd like to bring you is from the Motley, also dated May the 6th, 2021, and the headline here is Why Luokung Technology Stock Popped Today. So a court ruling helped to lift the stock and keep it from being delisted. So let's look into this article in a little bit more detail. Okay, so continuing with the article here, we can see that obviously they did receive a delisting notice from the NASDAQ on March the 11th, saying they would be delisted on May the 8th. So in response, we can see that has now been removed with the granting of the injunction. So in terms of the stock, we can see here that obviously the stock, due to these factors, has been very, very volatile. It's also good news in terms of this stock that Luokung has also acquired BNGO technology in February. So this gave it exposure to a fast-growing electrical vehicle market. And now the delisting seems to be resolved. Investors can now obviously turn their attention onto integration of this BNGO, and the deal should be closed in March. So let's now have a look at the bottom part of the article, looking at the potential of this stock. Okay, so everybody who is invested in this stock is aware of the huge potential. So we can see here that the analysts from Motley did look at this stock and say, yes, it has got huge potential, but also huge risks. So the company does enjoy a dominant market in its actual position. So looking at the very bottom of this article now, we can see that it's capital light, scalable business model previously helped it to consistently deliver high sales and near 70% margins, which is actually excellent. So in terms of shareholder returns, that should be very, very positive. So in 2019, they returned $150 million to shareholders in terms of dividends and buybacks. So generally, the stock has been performing very, very well. So we're now going to have a quick look at the institutional investors into this stock from Fintel, and we can see here on the 6th of May, there was a new institutional investor, First National Trust. So that's positive news there as well. And we can also see on the 30th of April, there was also a new institutional investor, IFP Advisors Incorporated. And we can also see below the previous institutional investors into this stock. The more institutional investors there are, the more confidence we should be able to have in this stock going forward. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is share some positive and some negative news with regard to this stock from Chartmill. So we can see, start with the positive at the top left hand side, we can see technical rating of 8. So that's quite good. In terms of its overall performance compared to the overall market, it's showing a nice and steady performance. So the business itself is performing very, very well. Okay, so let's have a look at the key headlines here under the chart mill analysis. So the long and short term trends are both positive, so that's looking good. When comparing the yearly performance of the stocks, we know that LKCO is one of the better performing stocks, and it is outperforming 90% of all other stocks. LKO is also part of the computer programming, data processing and other computer related services. There are over 402 stocks in this industry, and LKO outperforms 95% of them. So again, excellent news there. And the final technical analysis there with good news is in the last month, LKCO has been trading in the 0.88 to 1.96 range, which is quite wide. So it's currently trading near the high right now in terms of the range. So let's have a look at the middle column now, which is looking at support and resistance. So right now the support is generally looking around about the 90 cents mark. Resistance is around about $1.70. So that is important to be aware of, especially if you are considering making an investment or also considering taking profits. And the final thing that I would like to draw your attention to is the warning on the right hand side, and that comes under setup analysis. So we can see here that it does have an excellent rating on the left that we have seen. However, it does not present a good entry point right now. So as investors, that's one thing that you need to be aware of. Price movement has been very volatile. For a good entry right now, it's probably a good idea to wait. So I do agree with that. I don't think it's a good idea right now to jump in. The market is very volatile. The price is more closer to the resistance than it is to the support. So as a new investor or somebody considering making an entry into this, I would certainly recommend an entry below $1.20. So if you can catch this stock below $1.20 right now, based on the chart mill analysis, that would be a better entry point than $1.70. Okay, so it's now time for lesson of the day, and we're going to continue with our series on chart analysis. So today's chart is called a triple bottom. So let's first, before we look at the chart itself, let me give you first of all an overview of this particular chart. So the triple bottom pattern is used in technical analysis as a predictor of a reverse position following a long downward trend. So the triple bottom occurs when the price of the stock creates three distinct downwards prongs at around the same price before breaking out and reversing the trend. So the key thing to be aware of is that this particular shape will happen after a long continuous downward trend. So the thing that you will not be able to see in the image is the trend before this triple bottom shape. So before this triple bottom shape, what you will see is a continuous downward trend. So obviously it is possible that a lot of shares have been going through long downward trends quite recently, considering the market that we're in. And then once it hits the bottom, you see this triple effect sign. So you have the first bottom, movement up, then down again, then the second bottom, movement up, then down again, then the third bottom. So this kind of represents a little bit of stabilization. So after the third bottom, as it goes up, this is an indication that the share price is going to recover. It's going to be a breakout, and we're going to see some forward momentum. So the red circle there represents the point of breakout. So this is known as the triple bottom. So I hope that helps. Thank you very much for joining me, and please stay tuned.